All right, let's get started. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I know you're all very busy. You got a lot of things to do, and so we're humbled and grateful that you took some time out of your day today to learn a little bit more about how Product Plan is reimagining the road mapping experience. I'm going to give you a quick introduction, explain to myself a little bit my vision, and I'm going to hand it over to my teammate Charlotte, who's going to walk you through a great demo of all the things that we've planned. And then we'll have a time for Q&A. So feel free to either leave questions right in the audience chat or jot them down in notes and be prepared to answer any questions. My name is Stephen Cohn. I'm the CEO of Product Plan. My background is that I'm a four-time founder, and so I'm a product builder. I've been building product for most of my career. I've gone from the super early stages. I love the 0 to 1 stage of product building, and that's what I've built my career around. My company, my last company, my fourth company, was acquired by Product Plan in December of this year, and I became the CEO of Product Plan. And I spent the first 5 months as CEO meeting with customers, talking to different product teams, trying to understand their challenges, how we can best serve their needs, and create more value for this team. And one thing is certain: product management as a discipline is undergoing tremendous transformation right now. Obviously, with AI, and we're all struggling with. That's my dog in the background. Sorry about that. We're all struggling with how to move faster while also making the right priority product decisions. And so that's what we're focused on. There's two big initiatives that we've undertaken with the roadmaps. One is making it easier to edit and to create. We win historically. Our customers tell us we're easy to use, but we still feel like we can move the ball forward even faster. Even more with usability and ease of use. Charlotte's going to demo a prototype of what we're building and what we're planning to deliver with the road mapping experience. And I think the reactions that we've shown to customers over and over again has been, wow, this looks so much easier and simpler to create this beautiful artifact of the roadmap that I can share with my stakeholders. It's not only easy to use for creation of the roadmap, but also tremendous improvements in the integration experience and how we can integrate with your DevOps tool, whether it's Jira or ADO. A lot of simplification of that experience. In addition to that, the other main initiative is what we call creating an artifact that's ready to share and drive deeper engagement through stakeholders. One of the things that I've heard over and over again is that the roadmap experience, while you create the artifact, also requires a tremendous amount of back and forth collaboration with stakeholders, explaining the content, educating them, hearing their feedback, all the different stakeholders that you have. Before I became CEO of Product Plan, I was a board member for over 4 years of Product Plan. And I would get the roadmaps, and it would be like, this is great, but I have a lot of questions. So I'd either go back and forth in email or I'd set up meetings. And that really wasn't a great use of my time or the product team's time. And so what we're doing with the roadmap, and you're going to see, is transforming it from a reporting tool into a bidirectional communication tool. And with all communication tools, you need richer content to help you explain your story a little bit better to someone who's not in the product, not in the weeds, thinking about their own needs. And how do they understand what really these roadmap items are at a richer level, and then share their feedback asynchronously, so you can have that in a much more efficient way, as opposed to back and forth with email threads or chat messages or in-person meetings, etc. So we're really reimagining the road mapping experience and how we can deliver a bidirectional communication platform to better content for your stakeholders to really understand, but also share their feedback and capture that. Not only are we transforming and reimagining the road mapping experience, but I also have to plug an upcoming webinar that we have coming up in a few weeks, that for the new ideas experience. There's a ton of stuff that we're doing with the new ideas experience. We're heavily leveraging AI to drive a tremendous amount of efficiency. It's all focused on how do we provide better evidence for you, much more streamlined capture experience, organization experience, better evidence to help with your prioritization decisions, and then also share that all that evidence through that entire road mapping experience so everyone understands why you made the prioritization decisions that you made. All your stakeholders understand that. So there's a ton of stuff we're doing with that. And I'm going to be joined. I'm going to be on the webinar as well, joined with our director of product management, Adrian, who's done a tremendous job with that team there to reimagine the road mapping experience, the ideas experience. So please join us there. You can scan that QR code and go to an RSVP page. You will see emails also from us about it. It's really, really cool. And that's actually going to be coming out in July. But without further ado, let me hand it over to Charlotte, who's going to walk you through all the changes that we're doing with the new roadmap.
All right, thank you very much. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Let me go ahead and switch over to our prototype. And just a quick note on what you're looking at. This is a design prototype. Design details may evolve, but really the functionality and the concepts are real. Like Steven said, we are reimagining the roadmap experience in ProductPlan to support bidirectional communication that drives stakeholder engagement. So kind of two principles that you'll see behind everything that we're building here. That first one being roadmaps as a communication tool and not just a reporting tool, which requires a place for stakeholders to provide feedback. And then second, thinking about how can we make it easier for you to build a roadmap in just a few minutes and not maybe days. We want to make it as easy as possible for PMs to construct and maintain their product roadmaps through integrations, ease of use, just streamlining that overall experience in ProductPlan. And one thing important to orient yourself first around here. What you're looking at is what all roadmaps in ProductPlan will look like. So thinking about portfolios, single product roadmaps, everything. We're really converging on one unified experience for managing objectives, initiatives, epics, and stories. So today, a lot of teams end up bouncing between separate views, one place for strategy and objectives, another place for initiatives, and then a third place for delivery tracking. And every time you bounce between those, you lose a little bit of context, and it gets harder to tell a clean story of how the work connects to the why. So we've brought objectives, initiatives, and delivery into this one unified view and workflow, so a single page. As always, you can click into your track deliverables to see full details. Opening up a details drawer, you'll see a peek of this in our strategic portfolio currently, but having this consistent across all of your initiatives and their child items. Also giving the ability to view and manage objectives where the key conversations are taking place. So right alongside your roadmap deliverables, with this redesign, all objective details are accessible through the objective drawer that highlights all of the nested behavior, so parent-child relationships between objectives, surfacing your key result progress, and then development progress down at the bottom here, where that 57% is representing the active progress in Jira or ADO of all of my linked roadmap items that are contributing to my overall outcome to grow ARR to 50 million. Also, add any of these components really dynamically to your roadmap through the expanded toolbar options, thinking about adding an objective, which is purposed as my primary grouping lane over here, or dragging and dropping initiatives directly onto my roadmap. Same goes for that epic in the story layer, getting everything added to your timeline or your board view so that you can tell that story effectively. Alongside kind of these structural changes of adding and editing everything in one place, the visual experience is getting a really meaningful update here. We want it to be cleaner, more scannable, and more consistent across the board. In this updated experience, initiatives can be applied as a native part of the roadmap itself. You can see these alongside epics and stories all in one view. And for those of you who have requested this, this is not a trivial change, and it's been a long time coming enhancement for good reason. Initiatives do play a key role in communicating timelines, so your roadmap should be able to visualize that effectively. Roadmaps here no longer confined to just lanes, containers, and bars, but having a third and fourth hierarchical structure for your secondary groupings. So similar to what's present on our strategic portfolio, I have that purposed as teams here. And then also getting down into 3 layers on your roadmap timeline or your board view. Taking mobile app experience here as an example. This is reflecting the initiative layer directly. And within this initiative, I have 2 epics. I've got my biometric login and my push notification preferences. Then at the most granular level, I have the story with Face ID support and Touch ID support. So seeing all of these really grouped together so that you can go into all the details that you need for a given audience. Some audiences might not require that level of detail. So being able to remove, say, the story level for maybe more executive personas who are engaging with the roadmap at a higher level, but being able to support everything in one view when you need it, rather than maybe having multiple roadmaps that are achieving this today. Really, my favorite part and the best part with this hierarchical model is that if you are syncing roadmap information directly with Jira or Azure DevOps, this hierarchical structure will be inherited across the board, meaning that your saved query for initiatives, epics, and stories will automatically sort items hierarchically to communicate that parent-child relationship and even getting into that grandchild relationship that's really key to development. To kind of address some of the changes surrounding how you get to this completed roadmap state, let's just take a step back into our roadmap index. And from this index page, we're adding more organization mechanisms for roadmap storage, where we'll be introducing product segmentation to allow for roadmaps to be organized into unique products, where admins manage these product details directly, controlling who has access to these products and all the roadmaps within them. And really the goal here is that as your portfolio grows, the index here scales with it. No more flat structure that can become unwieldy. You can look at a specific product. Blue Wave Airlines is my chosen product today, or you can pivot to see all products in one. The more obvious shift in the navigation here, though, is the backlog addition. So this section here will be replacing the current table view and planned and parked section to encompass everything from your chosen product in an easy to navigate table style view. So once again, I'm seeing the relationships between items, can control how much information I'm seeing at a single time, and as always, taking advantage of those kind of filters. If I do want to look at a specific roadmap, able to filter down within my Blue Wave Airlines product to see from my now, next, later roadmap, for example, and really controlling the amount of information that I'm seeing here. When setting up your initial data query, if you're tying to an integration, all of those relevant items will be placed into this global product backlog. So accessible from the navigation menu, and this really keeps everything related to your product in one place, regardless of origin. If it's created in a development tool or if it's created in ProductPlan, we'll see all of that here. When you're ready to make movement, if I just completed a query import, I want to see these on a roadmap, just selecting, sending them to an existing roadmap or some roadmap that is brand new. On the flip side, if I already have a roadmap that I'm managing, and maybe that backlog section is just updating as new things are created, then I'll look to the right side of my timeline or board view to open up the unassigned items drawer, which is a direct reflection of your backlog for your product. So thinking about this is, what are all the roadmap items that are not present on my Blue Wave Airlines roadmap? And if they're brand new coming from Jira or ADO, I'll see those surfaced and know that it needs my attention. If this is looking for specific items, always accessible with filters and search to find new things when you need them. And similar to that transition from backlog to roadmap, being able to drag and drop right from the unassigned items drawer to easily populate your roadmap content accessible with those kind of filters, and then engaging with this as I do all the rest of my items. No matter where these items are coming from as well, if I open up my single sign-on and social login Epic, if they are integrated with your development tool, these updates are going to flow both ways. So when my team updates work in ADO or Jira, that'll be instantly reflected in my roadmap. And then on the flip side, if I'm making changes to the timeline or my effort scale, any of my integrated fields that are bidirectional, I'll see those updates pushed automatically live and in real time. So shifting away from more of a manual or automatic nightly sync to a live in real time synchronization between ProductPlan and your development tool. I'm not going to go too much in depth on the integration stuff today. So for more insight into the integration setup and the management for this reimagined roadmap experience, we are going to have a webinar on July 15th for admins to see these changes in more depth. So this is one of many webinars of what's to come in ProductPlan. And if you're interested, be able to register for that with a QR code or a follow-up. All right, and this kind of brings us to the bigger picture. So engaging roadmap content. Kind of left this elephant in the room unaddressed. We have some embedded imagery on this roadmap that aims to cater to your stakeholder audience. So really the goal of everything you've just seen is to make roadmaps a dynamic surface that drives stakeholder engagement. And that means giving editors a really clear and manageable view, and then also giving stakeholders something they can consume and react to. So creating those real engagement touch points, and then allowing the product manager to review, comment, and share all in that one location. One core component of that is going to be catering to your audience through pivoted views and changes in granularity. This example, I'm moving to a now, next, later board and shifting the focus away from dates. This might be something that I would share with ELT or with external customers so that they're not seeing all of the details of my roadmap, but they're seeing exactly what I want them to see. And beyond that, the embedded content here gives stakeholders, regardless of technical knowledge, really something that they can consume and react to. The embedded content here, I have a customer interview and a video, is controlled by you. Thinking about videos, prototypes, screenshots, and more for viewers to see really front and center. This would be that stakeholder perspective, can take it a step further as well to provide feedback on the embedded content that I'm viewing directly, seeing all of that feedback in one channel. And then on the editor side, so as a PM for this product, seeing a summary of the kind of feedback that I'm receiving. We're planning to incorporate some of those core elements from our product intelligence platform into the feedback summarization, making it ideally really easy for you to understand core themes and trends as it relates to upcoming roadmap items that you're betting on currently. And that all comes into play. So all of these available for the roadmap redesign and kind of flexibly catering to your audience or to yourself as you're managing the roadmap, to kind of circle back to decreasing the amount of time it takes to manage a roadmap. And then in that completed feedback loop, getting more value out of sharing that roadmap with your stakeholder groups. So that's kind of a wrap on today's demonstration. I feel like I could talk about how excited we are for these changes to hit your screens this fall all day long, but I want to make sure we have some time to address questions from the group and just engage with everyone here. So I'll switch back into our slide deck and see what questions we have. Anything in the chat?
While we're waiting on questions, you want to go to the FAQ page really quick?
Yeah.
Next slide. So we want to, some of this might be restating the obvious, but we want to say it and be clear and transparent. There's no pricing change. This is not a money grab. We're not trying to figure out how to increase price. This is just a better product experience, more streamlined product experience, and trying to deliver more value. The Charlotte mentioned when these changes are happening. The goal is to start rolling these out in September. It's going to be a controlled rollout. Charlotte, you want to speak about the roadmap migration process?
Yes, absolutely. I do see a question here about what happens to roadmaps and data that we've already built, so things that are in there today. Those will not be forcibly moved to the new roadmap experience. The roadmap redesign and that reimagined workflow will be available, like Stephen said, in that September timeframe. And we're not going to lose any of your current data, and will not migrate to that new experience without assistance from our team and approval from your team. So there are some components that are different. Thinking about initiatives, I think, is a good example, repurposing those as native components on your roadmap. So those kind of things will have assisted effort in migrating to the new experience.
Yep, we have a couple. Keith asked, and actually Elizabeth or Karen asked the same question. When it'll be available?
I love to hear that. That's the best question to receive after showing something new. These new features will be available at the same time. So this kind of batch effort of the reimagined roadmap will be available in September or October timeframe. More information on that to come and how we can support you. But we want to get it to you as soon as possible. And I assure you, we're moving really, really quickly on this, which is great.
And Elizabeth asked, do people need a license to give feedback and rate roadmap elements?
No, never. We want everyone to give feedback. So kind of similar to what we do in the ideas portal today, where any viewer is able to submit feedback. That's the kind of energy we would carry into the roadmap for soliciting feedback from stakeholders, is to really open the doors and make it accessible. So no editor license required.
And Keith asked, are customers able to beta?
We have not discussed having an open beta for this. I think feedback is absolutely welcome. And I think it's something we would consider, but we do not have outlined currently. So if you're interested, Keith, we'll keep you in mind. Maybe a early insight.
Wes asked, for the migration, will we be able to have a side-by-side view for a period of time until we feel comfortable making the switch? I.e., both old and new imagined roadmaps be available simultaneously?
We're confirming the ins and outs, I would say, of that active migration to keep what you currently have and then see the new version. I think what's important and what we really want to instill is making that a conscious decision, that you're aware of what's going to change before it changes. So some more insight, I would say, to come on specifically if you'd have your old roadmap and then the reimagined roadmap at the same time. But we want that to be something that you feel comfortable making the decision before the switch. So I think you're safe and in good hands with that, but not sure exactly how that will work quite yet.
Yeah, and I think there's a sub question there, or an unasked question is am I losing any core functionality, or is it just a new kind of user experience? And I think I can comfortably say you're not losing, not that I know of, or anything significant from a core functionality perspective. It's just a more streamlined design experience and user experience. So with any new UX change, there might be a little bit of a learning curve, but we've actually shown this to a number of customers, and we're happy to go in detail with you, and show you the prototype and let you click around on it and play with it. Meet with your CSM and go through it in detail. But what we found from a usability perspective, it's dramatically easier, simpler to navigate, very intuitive design. And we're really addressing a lot of the pain points and challenges that we've heard over the years.
Yeah, I agree with that. We definitely did our due diligence on the features that are shifting, And those that are changing for a reason, and because it's a suboptimal experience today. And when we're unhappy with it, we want to change it. So I think what you're utilizing today will be there, if not better. So
yeah. And we're given like a 3-month kind of heads up on this. So there's plenty of time for you to review it. We'll have a lot of content that we're going to come out about it, as we roll this out. So the functionality is not, you're not losing functionality. You're just gaining a much more intuitive, simpler, easier to use product experience. Heather asks, can you share a bit about your AI vision with the roadmap capabilities and product intelligence features you've been building? Look, there's no question that AI is transforming our product discipline, and every team I meet with is being pushed to use AI more, to be more efficient, to move faster. And to be very candid, a lot of people are saying, we just need to show them something that we're kind of doing to move faster. So we're truly trying to figure this out. I just got off a call with a customer this morning. They're trying to figure this out. What we have focused on with our AI experience, with leveraging AI, is how do we use specific use cases that you guys do on a daily, monthly, weekly basis, and you leverage AI to automate that and add value creation for you. So we have we much more on the product intelligence side than on the roadmap, although the roadmap definitely has some AI capabilities that we're building in. But with the AI, with the product intelligence, when we have the upcoming webinar, if you want to go to the next slide, they can actually see the upcoming webinars. For the ideas, there's a ton of AI usage in ideas, in transforming feedback into what we call signals, and signals automatically grouped into ideas as evidence to support your feature ideas. We're using a lot of AI to transform the evidence into prioritization, using AI for prioritization, fit to your company objectives and initiatives to help with prioritization as well. And of course, with the research feature that we rolled out at the end of March or early April, that's an AI research tool that you can use, that has a kind of inside the research. It has AI moderator that asks follow-up questions and summarizes the research surveys that you do, results. There's a ton of stuff that we're doing on AI, but it's all, the key takeaway here is we don't start with AI. We start with, what is your use case? What is your need? What do you do? And how can we leverage AI to help make that more efficient for you and drive extra incremental value? So we start with the use case. John said, let's see here. John said, looks really exciting improvement to the product. When will there be something to read and assimilate this information? So after this call, we are going to send out content, of course, and it'll be a video of this so you can watch it again. There'll be some more content that's going to be constantly coming out, and we're going to have more and more webinars. If you go to the next slide, we're going to have office hours. You can book office hours. You can book a one-on-one demo where you can go in detail. And of course, you always can follow up with your CSM. If you have an assigned CSM, you can follow up. They'd love to talk to you. They're an amazing team, and happy to go through in detail. We're happy to kind of let you play around with the prototype and understand what we're doing. So we're trying to be as upfront and transparent as early as possible with this. If I can't attend one of those webinars, but register, will I get the recording later? Great question, Karen Brown. Yes, of course. If you're not sure whether you can attend, but you're maybe curious or potentially curious about sign up. We'll send you the content. You can decide later on. Happy to answer this. We're trying to create as much content as possible to pre-educate you on the product improvements that we're doing, so there's no surprises. Any other questions? I know we are at time. We're willing to stay on a little bit longer if people want to stay on. Let's see, another submitted question. Yeah, if we'd love to hear in chat if you want to in the live chat. Any questions, any feedback on the user experience? Any questions you have about like how would something work or where would something be? We're happy to answer that. Any other feedback you have, good or bad? Love to hear it. We're product people, so we're telling you in advance, 3 months in advance. We want to hear your thoughts, your feedback. I always joke, you can hurt my feelings, please.
We're lucky to be product people building products for other product people, because oftentimes more active feedback, I would say, than a lot of other kind of conversations might have. So it's always great to be working with other product managers.
All right, Simon, thank you so much for that feedback. And please do feel free to join the office hours, the one-on-one demo, or reach out to your CSM to chat. We and we'll be sending this out after the call. Awesome, Wes. Thank you very much. Agree with you on the past approach to the initiatives and visualization of epics and stories. That was a painful. We are doing a tremendous usability improvement to visualize that. Any other questions? Let's see, was there? Well, so thank you. Great. We will right after this, later this afternoon, we're going to send out the recording of this. It's obviously got to download. We got to sync it up into the email, but we're going to get it out as soon as possible. And what do you think, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Any other questions or chat or things?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think there's so many changes coming for the roadmaps and then also the product intelligence side of things. So really just take full advantage of our team to answer questions you have and to get more so into the details as well. Like Steven said, we're trying to over communicate and give everyone a strong heads up of what these changes are, because they're really exciting and we want you to be aware of them as soon as they're available.
Yeah, do you want to go real quick the webinar slide? Yeah. So there's two, the ideas thing, really transformative product experience on the ideas. Very excited about that. And that is actually coming out mid-July. So that's going to come out sooner than the roadmap experience. And we're really solving a lot of needs and adding a tremendous amount of value, a lot of AI in that experience as well. And then the integrations, which has been definitely a frustration point for a lot of team. We're completely reimagining the integrations experience, bi-directional sync. There's just a bunch of better experience. And so Charlotte's been leading that as well. And she's going to go through in detail on July 15th. So please do RSVP for those. And let us know any feedback along the way. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.